So we now want to use animation instead of transition. Let's say we want to slide this in. We could also achieve a slide in effect with the transition property, but for demo purposes, let's use animation. I need to set up the slide enter class, therefore. I haven't attached it up there yet, but I will do so in a second. Slide enter. Here we will have slide enter active. And then we will also need slide leave and of course slide leave active. So these are the CSS classes which I could now use by setting up a name of slide here. I'll leave it at fade for now though. Now these classes don't do that much right now. For animations to be playable, I also need to set up some keyframes with add keyframes, and I will have a slide in animation and then a slide out animation. Now here you could specify the individual percentages. I'm going to say from and then to keep it real simple. And I want to start for sliding it in with transform. So when I move it in its position here with translate Y on the Y axis. And then I want to move it by 20 pixels. And 2 is where I want to end, and I want to end at the real position of the element. Hence, translate Y shall be set to 0, which is the position the element really has in the document flow. Well, and I can then basically copy that for the slide out animation. So slide out like this. And then all I need to do here is move this like that, and then rename this from and to, from and to also slide it out on the y-axis again, so that we have a nice sliding animation. Of course, set up any animation you want. Now, with these keyframes here configured, I can now set up the slide classes up here. Now on slide enter, I could set up transform and then translate Y and then 20 pixels, because that is our beginning state here. Though as I do set it up as a keyframe here, I don't really need to set it up here again. It wouldn't hurt, but it also isn't needed. So no special starting state, again, because we do set up the starting state here in the keyframes, since we will use a CSS animation. In slide enter active, I now want to play this animation. So the animation shall be slide in, referring to this keyframe here, of course. Over 1 second, let's say we have a ease out easing function to end a bit slower than we start. And importantly, we need to set up forwards so that the element stays in the finishing position of this animation and doesn't snap back to the start. Well, and for leaving here, there I want to use no initial state, because I don't need to. The starting position of the element is the default position of the element. But I want to add an animation for the time where this active class is attached. And here I want to slide it in. I want to use slide out over 1 second with ease out again and forwards to keep it down there. And with that, if we save this, we can now go up here, copy that div in this transition, now add a second one with the slide class. And let's reload this and show this. This slides up and it slides down. Now, this already looks great. We see now we're using a CSS animation to use it or to animate this, though it's a bit too bad, or I don't like that it instantly slides down and then appears like that. It would be nicer if it would also become transparent over the time period. So in the next video, let's see how we can mix transition and animation.